The security monitor's grainy footage shows her final moments of freedom. At 2:47 a.m., the woman who commands a billion-dollar empire becomes prey. 3 masked figures emerge from the stairwell like shadows given form. Ryan Mitchell stops mopping the 47th floor, his hands frozen on the industrial cleaner's handle as he watches the scene unfold on the small screen mounted near the elevator bank. "No! Let me go!" Sophia Sterling's voice crackles through the security feed, sharp with terror. The CEO of Sterling Industries, the woman whose face graces magazine covers and whose decisions shape markets, is being dragged toward the service elevator. Her designer heels scrape against marble as she fights. Ryan's military instincts fire before conscious thought forms. 7 years of special forces training compressed into a single moment of decision. If you're enjoying this story about an ordinary hero rising to an extraordinary moment, please consider subscribing to hear more tales of courage, love, and redemption. Your support helps create more stories that remind us that heroes come from unexpected places. Hipami abandons the mop bucket, racing for the stairwell. His janitor's uniform, gray polyester that makes him invisible to the executives who pass him daily, becomes a second skin as he descends 3 floors in 20 seconds. His feet barely touch the concrete steps. The service elevator's cables groan somewhere below, and he calculates distances, speeds, probable destinations. The loading dock in the sub-basement, that's where they'll take her. Ryan bursts through the basement door just as the 3 men are forcing Sophia toward a black van. The space reeks of motor oil and damp concrete. Fluorescent lights flicker overhead, casting everything in harsh relief. The nearest kidnapper turns at the sound, reaching for something at his waist, but Ryan's already moving. His elbow connects with the man's temple in a strike that would make his drill sergeant proud. The kidnapper drops like a stone. The second man releases Sophia and lunges forward. Ryan sidesteps, using the attacker's momentum against him. A quick leg sweep sends him crashing into a concrete pillar. Blood spatters across gray paint. The third man, larger than his companions, pulls out a pistol and aims it at Sophia's head. His hand trembles slightly, betraying his nervousness. "Back off, or she dies," the gunman growls through his mask. Ryan raises his hand slowly, his eyes never leaving the weapon. He notices the safety is still engaged. Amateur hour. In one fluid motion, he grabs a wrench from a nearby tool cart and hurls it. The metal tool strikes the gunman's wrist with a sickening crack. The pistol clatters across oil-stained concrete. Ryan tackles the man before he can recover, driving him into the van's side panel. They grapple for several seconds. The kidnapper is strong but untrained, throwing wild haymakers that Ryan easily deflects. A precise strike to the solar plexus ends the fight. The man collapses, gasping for air that won't come. Sophia stands frozen against the wall, her silk blouse torn at the shoulder, her usually perfect composure shattered. Her eyes, the color of winter storm clouds, lock onto Ryan's face. Recognition dawns slowly, mixing with disbelief. The janitor who empties her trash, who works invisible night shifts, has just dismantled 3 armed men with his bare hands. "Are you hurt?" Ryan asks, his voice steady despite the adrenaline flooding his system. She shakes her head, unable to form words. Her gaze drops to his left shoulder, where crimson spreads across gray fabric. During the fight, a knife found its mark, not deep, but bleeding steadily. "Oh God, you're wounded," she whispers, reaching toward him instinctively before pulling back. The social distance between them, CEO and janitor, reasserts itself even in crisis. Her hand hovers uncertain in the space between their bodies. Footsteps thunder down the stairwell. David Harrington bursts into the loading dock, his $1,000 suit impeccable despite the late hour. His expression shifts from concern to relief to something else. Annoyance, perhaps, as he takes in the scene. Sterling Industries' chief operating officer, the man who's been Sophia's right hand for 3 years, rushes to her side. "Sophia, thank God you're safe," David exclaims, wrapping her in an embrace that seems protective, but feels possessive. His cologne, something expensive and overwhelming, fills the space. Over her shoulder, his eyes find Ryan, and something cold flickers in their depths. "What happened here?" "They tried to take me," Sophia manages, her voice regaining strength. "This man, Ryan, he saved my life." She gestures toward the janitor, who's now pressing his hand against his bleeding shoulder. David's jaw tightens almost imperceptibly. "How fortunate he was here," he says, the words carrying an edge that doesn't match his concerned expression. He pulls out his phone, but doesn't immediately dial. "We should get you somewhere safe first. The police can wait." "Shouldn't we call 911 now?" Ryan interjects, his trained eye catching the hesitation. In his FBI days, before everything went wrong, he'd seen this behavior before. Someone controlling a crime scene. Someone who doesn't want authorities involved too quickly. David's gaze sharpens. "I don't recall asking for your input, janitor. You've done your part. We'll handle things from here." He guides Sophia toward the elevator, his hand firm on her lower back. She glances back at Ryan, mouthing a silent "thank you" that David doesn't see. Jake Turner, head of Sterling Industries Security, arrives with 2 more guards. Ryan recognizes the way Jake moves. Weight balanced, eyes constantly scanning. Another military man. Their eyes meet for a moment, and Jake's widens slightly. Recognition flickers across his weathered face. "Mitchell!" Jake breathes, too quiet for others to hear. "Ryan Mitchell, FBI Special Operations." Ryan gives the slightest shake of his head. Not now, not here. Jake understands immediately, turning to address the scene professionally. "I need the loading dock sealed. Nobody in or out until forensics arrives." As the space fills with security personnel, Ryan notices something glinting near the van's rear tire. A phone, probably dropped during the struggle. He palms it quietly while others focus on the unconscious kidnappers. The screen is cracked but functional, showing a text conversation. The last message, sent an hour ago. "Package ready for pickup. Basement loading dock. AC confirms. AC." Ryan's blood chills as he pockets the device. Those initials could mean anything. But given David Harrington's middle name is Christopher, the coincidence feels heavy. He needs to be careful now. If the COO is involved, this attempt won't be the last. "You need medical attention," Jake says, appearing at Ryan's elbow. His voice drops to a whisper. "And we need to talk about why Ryan Mitchell is mopping floors at Sterling Industries." The question hangs between them like a blade. 7 months ago, Ryan had been one of the FBI's most decorated agents before everything imploded. "Not here," Ryan replies, wincing as Jake helps him toward the first aid station. "But keep an eye on Harrington. Something's wrong about this whole thing." Jake nods, understanding passing between them in the way of men who've seen combat, who know that instincts save lives more often than protocols. The next morning arrives too quickly. Ryan sits in his cramped apartment, butterfly bandages holding the knife wound closed. He can't afford an emergency room visit, not with Lily's medical bills already drowning him. His 7-year-old daughter sleeps in the next room, unaware that her father had almost died protecting a stranger, unaware that their carefully constructed new life might be unraveling. The coffee maker sputters, producing something that barely qualifies as coffee. Ryan drinks it anyway, reviewing the kidnapper's phone for the 10th time. Beyond the cryptic text, there's little useful information. The device has been wiped clean of contacts, call history deleted. Professionals, despite their sloppy execution. A knock at the door breaks his concentration. Soft, hesitant, unexpected. Through the peephole, he sees Sophia Sterling standing in his hallway. She looks out of place in the rundown building, her tailored coat worth more than most residents here make in a month. He opens the door, surprise evident on his face. "How did you find my address?" he asks, though the answer is obvious. A CEO has resources. Finding one employee's apartment would take her assistant 5 minutes. "I needed to thank you properly," she says, then notices the bandage visible through his thin t-shirt. "You haven't seen a doctor, have you?" It's not really a question. She knows the answer. "May I come in?" Ryan steps aside, suddenly conscious of the apartment's shabbiness. Peeling wallpaper, second-hand furniture, the pervasive smell of the restaurant downstairs. This is his world, so far removed from her penthouse existence that it might as well be another planet. Sophia doesn't seem to notice the poverty, or perhaps she's too polite to react. Her attention fixes on the refrigerator, covered in drawings. Stick figures labeled Daddy and Me feature prominently, along with hearts and rainbows. One shows a figure in a cape. Super Daddy is written in careful, childish letters. "You have a daughter," she observes, something softening in her expression. Ryan nods, unsure why he feels defensive about it. Plenty of single fathers exist in the world. "Where is she?" "School," he replies, checking his watch. 8:15 a.m. The bus picked her up an hour ago. He doesn't mention that Lily's private school tuition is the only luxury he allows himself. Education is the one thing he won't compromise on, even if it means working 3 jobs. Sophia turns from the drawings to study him. "You're not just a janitor, are you? The way you moved last night, the tactical decisions, that's specialized training." Her storm cloud eyes search his face for truth. "I'm exactly what my employment file says," Ryan deflects, but she's not buying it. Before she can press further, he changes direction. Why didn't Harrington call the police immediately? His hesitation felt deliberate. Her expression shifts, a crack in her CEO armor. David is protective, perhaps overly so. He's been with Sterling Industries for 3 years. Sometimes I think he believes he owns the place. She pauses, seeming to realize she's said too much to an employee. The professional distance reasserts itself. "You should be careful," Ryan says quietly. "Whoever organized last night knew your schedule, knew which elevator you'd use, knew the building's blind spots. That's inside information." "You're suggesting someone in my company tried to have me kidnapped?" The idea clearly disturbs her, but she's too intelligent to dismiss it. Her fingers unconsciously twist the ring on her right hand. Not an engagement ring, he notices, but something older, well-worn. "I'm suggesting you trust no one right now," he replies, then pulls out the kidnapper's phone. "Except maybe me, since I've already bled for you." He shows her the text message, watches her face pale as she reads the initials. "AC," she breathes. "David's middle name is Christopher, but that's insane. He's been nothing but supportive since my father died." Her voice catches on the last words, pain flickering across her features. "When did your father pass?" Ryan asks gently, his investigator instinct stirring. She looks surprised by the question but answers. 2 years ago. Heart attack in his office. Sudden. Unexpected. David helped me through it. Helped me take control of the company when the board doubted I was ready. The pieces start forming a pattern in Ryan's mind. But before he can pursue it, Sophia's phone buzzes. She glances at it and frowns. "I have to go. Board meeting in an hour." She stands, then hesitates at the door. Could you come to my office this afternoon? I want to review security footage from last night. I trust your eyes more than my security teams right now. It's an unusual request. A CEO doesn't typically invite janitors to private meetings. Ryan nods anyway. Something about Sophia Sterling makes him want to protect her, and it's more than just her beauty or vulnerability. Maybe it's the loneliness he recognizes in her eyes, the weight of responsibility that mirrors his own. After she leaves, Ryan calls Jake Turner. I need a favor. Can you pull David Harrington's personnel file without raising flags? Jake agrees without hesitation. Loyalty runs deep among those who've served. While waiting, Ryan checks on Lily's drawing supplies. She's been asking for new colored pencils, and maybe this month he can swing it. The phone the kidnapper dropped buzzes suddenly. A new text appears. Failed retrieval. Implement contingency. Tomorrow night. Corporate gala. Make it look natural. Ryan's blood runs cold. They're going to try again, and this time they'll be smarter about it. 3 p.m. arrives quickly. Ryan enters Sterling Industries through the employee entrance, his janitor's uniform granting him invisibility. Executives pass without seeing him, their conversations washing over him like white noise. He takes the service elevator to the executive floor, a place he normally only sees at 3 a.m. when it's empty. Sophia's office occupies the entire northwest corner, walls of glass offering panoramic city views. She's alone when he enters, standing at the window with her back to him. The afternoon sun creates a halo effect around her dark hair. Thank you for coming, she says without turning. David will be here soon. He insisted on joining us for the security review. A warning bell sounds in Ryan's head. That might not be wise. If he's involved, then I need to know, she interrupts, finally facing him. I've built my life around this company, around the people I thought I could trust. If David is betraying me, I need to see it for myself. Before Ryan can respond, David Harrington enters without knocking. His smile doesn't reach his eyes as he takes in Ryan's presence. What's the janitor doing here, Sophia? This is a security matter. Ryan saved my life last night. I value his perspective, she replies coolly. Something shifts in David's expression, a flash of genuine anger quickly suppressed. He's not used to Sophia defending others against him. They review the footage together on Sophia's wall-mounted screen. Ryan notices things the others miss, how the cameras in certain areas went dark 30 minutes before the attack, how the kidnappers knew exactly which route Sophia would take. David offers explanations for everything, smooth and reasonable, but sweat beads on his forehead. I think we should upgrade the entire system, David suggests. I can have my preferred contractor here tomorrow. His hand reaches for Sophia's shoulder in what seems like a comforting gesture, but she steps away. We'll use Ryan's recommendations, she says firmly. David's jaw clenches. The mask is slipping. In fact, I want Ryan heading up a complete security review, effective immediately. You can't be serious, David protests. He's a janitor, for God's sake. What does he know about corporate security? The words come out harsher than intended. Sophia's eyes narrow. He knew enough to stop 3 armed men, she observes. That's more than our current security accomplished. The criticism lands like a slap. David's face reddens. Ryan watches the interplay, reading the undercurrents. There's history here, not romantic exactly, but David clearly believes he has some claim on Sophia, possession masquerading as protection. It's a dynamic Ryan has seen before, usually right before things turn violent. If you'll excuse me, David says stiffly, I have a conference call with Tokyo. He leaves without waiting for dismissal, the door closing with barely controlled force. Through the glass wall, they watch him stalk to his office. He's been different lately, Sophia admits once they're alone. More controlling, more insistent about his opinions. After my father died, I thought he was being supportive. Now I wonder if he was just positioning himself. Tell me about the gala tomorrow night, Ryan says, not mentioning the text message yet. She looks surprised by the shift, but explains. Annual investor gathering. 300 guests. Lots of security. Why? Just being thorough. He lies smoothly. Who handles the guest list? She names David's assistant, another thread connecting back to the COO. I'd like to review it, along with the catering and security arrangements. She agrees, then surprises him by asking, Will you be there? I'd feel safer with you nearby. It's vulnerable, honest in a way that executives rarely are. Ryan finds himself agreeing before fully considering the implications. That evening, Ryan picks up Lily from after-school care. She chatters about her day while he makes dinner, mac and cheese again. But she doesn't complain. She never complains, this brave little girl who's had to grow up too fast. After dinner, she pulls out her art supplies, working on something she won't let him see. It's a surprise, she insists, tongue poking out in concentration. Ryan smiles, washing dishes while she works. These quiet moments are worth everything he's sacrificed. The FBI career, the reputation, the pension. None of it matters compared to keeping her safe. His phone buzzes. Jake Turner has sent David Harrington's personnel file, along with a note. Interesting timeline. Hired 3 months before CEO Sterling's death. Previous employment history has gaps. Dig deeper? Ryan texts back his agreement, then notices something else Jake sent. Security footage from 2 years ago, the night Sophia's father died. The timestamp shows 11:43 p.m. Marcus Sterling enters his office alone. At 11:58, David Harrington arrives, but there's no record of him being called. At 12:14 a.m., David emerges looking composed. The body wasn't discovered until the cleaning crew arrived at 5 a.m. The implications are staggering. If David murdered Marcus Sterling, then his pursuit of Sophia isn't just about taking over the company. It's about completing a long-term plan. The kidnapping attempt was meant to remove her, probably make it look like rivals or random crime. Then, David would heroically step in to lead Sterling Industries through tragedy. Daddy, you look sad, Lily observes, abandoning her drawing to climb into his lap. He holds her close, breathing in her strawberry shampoo scent. Just thinking about grown-up stuff, sweetheart. Is it about the pretty lady? She asks innocently. Ryan pulls back to look at her. What pretty lady? The one in the picture on your phone, Lily replies. He realizes Sophia's image is still on his screen from looking up Sterling Industries board members. She looks nice. Is she your friend? Something like that, Ryan admits, though friend doesn't capture the complexity. Employer, technically, though she doesn't know he's investigating her father's death. Potential victim, certainly. But also something else. A woman who looked at him and saw more than a uniform. Later, after Lily's asleep, Ryan studies the gala's layout. The Metropolitan Ballroom, 500 capacity, multiple exits, but also multiple blind spots. If someone wanted to make a death look accidental, there are opportunities. A fall from the balcony, perhaps, or something in the champagne. David would be right there to catch her, to grieve publicly. He texts Sophia, "Need to discuss security concerns. Can we meet before the gala?" Her response is immediate. "Breakfast tomorrow, 7 a.m., the coffee shop on 5th?" It's a public location. Smart. She's learning to be careful. Ryan spends the rest of the night preparing. He cleans his one good suit. A relic from FBI days that still fits. He arranges for Mrs. Chen downstairs to watch Lily. He loads the kidnapper's phone data onto a flash drive. Evidence is building, but it's still circumstantial. They need David to make a mistake, to reveal himself. The next morning arrives gray and drizzling. Ryan enters the coffee shop to find Sophia already there, tucked into a corner booth. She looks tired, stress showing in the lines around her eyes. "I couldn't sleep," she admits as he sits down. "Keep thinking about what you said, about inside information." Ryan pulls out the flash drive. "There's something you need to see." He shows her the second text, watches her face pale. They're planning something for tonight, something that will look natural. An accident, probably. "David insisted on handling all the arrangements personally," she whispers. "Said he wanted it to be perfect." Her hands tremble slightly as she reaches for her coffee. Ryan acts on instinct, covering her hand with his. The touch is electric, unexpected. They both freeze. "I won't let anything happen to you," he says quietly, meaning it absolutely. She looks at their joined hands, then up at his face. Something shifts in her expression, walls crumbling. "Why do you care? I'm just another rich executive to you." "No," Ryan replies firmly. "You're not." He wants to say more, about loneliness recognized, about strength admired, about the way she looked at Lily's drawings with genuine warmth. Instead, he pulls back, professional distance reasserting. "Jake Turner and I will be at the gala. We'll have eyes on you every moment." She nods, composing herself. "I should tell you something. David proposed to me last month." The words hit Ryan unexpectedly hard. "I turned him down, said I wasn't ready for that kind of relationship with anyone. He seemed to accept it. But now you wonder if that triggered this," Ryan finishes. Rejection as a motive for murder. He's seen it before. When narcissists don't get what they want, they often destroy it rather than accept loss. "There's more," Sophia continues. "My father's will had an unusual clause. If I die without children, my shares in Sterling Industries go to the senior executive with the longest tenure. That would be David now." The final piece clicks into place. David Harrington had orchestrated everything, joining the company, eliminating Marcus Sterling, positioning himself as Sophia's protector. When seduction failed, he moved to elimination. Tonight's gala is his stage for the final act. "We could go to the police," Ryan suggests, though he knows the problems with that approach. Without concrete evidence, it's speculation. David has been too careful, too patient. "No," Sophia says firmly. "If we're wrong, it destroys the company's reputation. If we're right, he'll know we're on to him and disappear. Either way, I need to know the truth about my father's death." Ryan understands. Justice delayed is still justice denied. Then we give him enough rope to hang himself. Tonight, you act normally. Let him think his plan is working. Jake and I will be ready when he makes his move. She stands to leave, then pauses. "Ryan, after this is over, whatever happens, I want to know your real story. Who you were before Sterling Industries. It's not a demand, but a request, vulnerable and genuine." "After this is over," he agrees, watching her walk away. Through the rain-streaked window, he sees a black sedan following her taxi. David is having her watched. Good. That means he's nervous, and nervous people make mistakes. The Metropolitan Ballroom glitters like a jewel box when Ryan arrives at 6:30 p.m. Crystal chandeliers cast prismatic light across marble floors. Servers in crisp uniforms glide between guests with champagne flutes balanced on silver trays. He adjusts his tie, borrowed from Jake, and scans the space with tactical precision. Emergency exits at 2 a.m. and 10 o'clock positions. Balcony access points that could become kill zones. Too many variables to control completely. Jake Turner's voice crackles through the nearly invisible earpiece. "I'm in position by the north entrance. Harrington arrived 10 minutes ago. He's been checking the balcony repeatedly." The information confirms Ryan's suspicions. That's where David plans to strike. Sophia enters at 7 p.m. exactly, and the room seems to shift around her. She wears a midnight blue gown that makes her look untouchable. Diamonds at her throat catch the light like captured stars. But Ryan sees past the armor of wealth to the tension in her shoulders, the way her fingers grip her clutch too tightly. Their eyes meet across the crowded room, a moment of connection that David, standing beside her, doesn't miss. "Remember, act naturally," Ryan murmurs into his comm unit, knowing she's wearing a matching earpiece hidden by her elaborate updo. She gives the slightest nod. Then David's hand is on her elbow, guiding her toward a group of investors. The possessiveness in his touch makes Ryan's jaw clench. For the next hour, Ryan circulates the room in his server's disguise. Jake had arranged it. No questions asked. He refills glasses, collects empty plates, stays invisible while keeping Sophia in sight. David never leaves her side, playing the devoted COO perfectly. To outside observers, they look like a power couple. Successful, elegant, destined for each other. At 8:15 p.m., Ryan notices something crucial. David keeps checking his watch, glancing toward the balcony doors. Whatever he's planned, it's scheduled for soon. Ryan texts Jake. "Move to secondary position. It's happening within the next 30 minutes. The orchestra begins playing a waltz, and David extends his hand to Sophia. "Dance with me," he says loud enough for nearby board members to hear. It's not really a request. She accepts gracefully, letting him lead her onto the floor. They move together with practiced ease. This isn't their first dance. Ryan positions himself near the balcony doors, every muscle coiled for action. Through his earpiece, he hears Sophia's rapid breathing. The microphone picks up her whispered conversation with David. "You look beautiful tonight," David murmurs against her ear. "Like you were meant to be here, with me, leading this company together." His hand tightens on her waist possessively. "David, we've discussed this," Sophia replies carefully. "I value our professional relationship, but nothing," he interrupts, his voice hardening. "I've given everything to Sterling Industries. 3 years of my life. I've protected you, guided you, loved you. Don't I deserve something in return?" The entitlement in his tone sends chills down Ryan's spine. This is it. The narcissistic injury that drives violent men. David can't accept that Sophia doesn't belong to him simply because he wants her. "Let's get some air," David suggests, steering her toward the balcony. Sophia resists subtly, but he's stronger. To observers, it looks like a romantic gesture. Ryan starts moving, weaving between dancing couples. Jake mirrors his path from the opposite direction. The balcony doors open onto a stone terrace 20 stories above the street. City lights spread below like scattered diamonds. A low stone railing, architecturally beautiful but dangerously insufficient, is all that stands between the terrace and a fatal drop. David guides Sophia to the railing, positioning her with her back to the void. "It's beautiful up here," he says conversationally. "Your father loved this view. He was standing right here the night he told me about the company's future." The casual mention of Marcus Sterling makes Sophia stiffen. "You never told me you spoke with him that night," she says carefully. Through his earpiece, Ryan hears her fear. She's starting to understand the danger she's in. David's smile turns predatory. "There's a lot I haven't told you, Sophia. Like how he laughed when I suggested you weren't ready to lead. How he said I'd never be more than a useful employee. He didn't think I was good enough, just like you don't." Ryan reaches the balcony doors just as David's hands move to Sophia's shoulders. The grip looks gentle from a distance. Up close, Ryan sees the white-knuckled force. "But here's the thing about accidents," David continues, his voice dropping to a whisper. "They change everything. Your father's accident made you CEO. Your accident tonight will make you a murderer, Ryan interrupts, stepping onto the balcony. David spins, his mask of control finally slipping completely. Rage distorts his handsome features into something ugly. The janitor. I should have known you'd interfere again. Let her go, Harrington, Ryan says calmly, though adrenaline floods his system. It's over. We know everything. About Marcus Sterling. About the kidnapping attempt. The police are already on their way. David laughs, the sound sharp and unhinged. You think you know everything? You have no idea what I've built here. 3 years of perfect planning, and you think some nobody janitor can stop me? His grip on Sophia tightens. She gasps in pain. He's not a nobody, Jake Turner announces, stepping through the balcony doors with 2 security guards. Ryan Mitchell is a decorated FBI agent, and you, Harrington, are under arrest for conspiracy to commit murder. The revelation hits David like a physical blow. His eyes dart between Ryan and Jake, calculating odds. Then, with desperate speed, he shoves Sophia toward the railing. Time slows to individual heartbeats. Sophia's scream cuts through the night air as she tips backward toward empty space. Ryan moves faster than thought. His hand catches her wrist just as her center of gravity passes the point of no return. With strength born of desperation, he hauls her back from the edge, pulling her against his chest. She's trembling, her fingers digging into his shoulders. For a moment, they're frozen together, her breath warm against his neck. David tries to run, but Jake's team is ready. The takedown is swift, professional. Within seconds, David is on the ground in handcuffs, his expensive suit torn. You can't prove anything, he snarls. It's your word against mine, and I own half the board. Actually, Ryan says, still holding Sophia, we can prove everything. He pulls out a small device from his pocket, a recording unit that's been capturing every word since they stepped onto the balcony. Your confession about Marcus Sterling, your attempt to kill Sophia, it's all here. The fight goes out of David completely. As security drags him away, he looks back at Sophia with pure hatred. You could have had everything with me. Now you'll die alone, just like your father. Sophia steps forward, finding her voice despite her trembling. My father didn't die alone. You murdered him. But even if he had died naturally, he was surrounded by the empire he built, the people who truly respected him. That's more than you'll ever have. The police arrive within minutes, taking David into custody. The gala erupts in chaos, board members demanding explanations, reporters materializing from nowhere. Through it all, Ryan stays close to Sophia, a protective presence as she faces the storm. She handles it with grace, providing a brief statement before her head of PR takes over. Then she turns to Ryan. Take me home, she says quietly. Please. They leave through the service entrance, fitting, somehow. Ryan's beat-up Honda feels like a refuge after the overwhelming glitter of the gala. Sophia kicks off her heels, curling into the passenger seat. Neither speaks during the drive. The silence isn't uncomfortable, but full of unspoken understanding. Her penthouse occupies the entire top floor of a building that scrapes the sky. The contrast with Ryan's cramped apartment is jarring. Floor-to-ceiling windows frame the city like living artwork. But the space feels cold, empty. It's a showplace, not a home. I never wanted this, Sophia says, gesturing at the opulent surroundings. The money, the power, it was my father's dream. I wanted to teach. Can you imagine? Elementary school, finger paintings, and reading circles. She laughs, but it's edged with loss. David convinced me I owed it to my father's memory to take over the company. Another manipulation, I suppose. Ryan moves closer, drawn by her vulnerability. It's not too late. The company is yours now, really yours. You can shape it however you want. She looks up at him, those storm cloud eyes seeing straight through him. Speaking of truth, who is Ryan Mitchell? Why is an FBI agent mopping floors at Sterling Industries? He owes her honesty after everything they've been through. 7 months ago, I was leading a task force against the Kozlov crime family. We were close to shutting down their entire operation. Then someone leaked my identity to them. His voice roughens with remembered pain. They couldn't get to me directly, so they went after Lily. Tried to grab her from school. Sophia's hand covers her mouth in horror. Ryan continues, needing to finish. I stopped them, but barely. That same day, I walked into my supervisor's office and quit. No pension, no fanfare, just packed up Lily and disappeared. The janitor job was perfect. Invisible. Night shift so I could be home when she wakes up. You gave up everything for her, Sophia says softly. She's everything, Ryan replies simply. My wife died when Lily was 2. Car accident. Since then, it's just been us against the world. I'd mop 1,000 floors if it keeps her safe. Sophia moves closer, her hand finding his. She's lucky to have you. My father loved me, but the company always came first. Board meetings instead of ballet recitals, conference calls during birthday parties. I swore I'd never be like that if I had children. Why didn't you? Ryan asks gently. She looks away, embarrassed. Never found someone who saw me instead of the sterling fortune. David came closest, or so I thought. Turns out he only saw dollar signs with my face attached. I see you, Ryan says quietly. The words hang between them, heavy with meaning. Sophia's breath catches. Even that first night, bleeding in a parking garage, I saw someone fighting to stay true to themselves, despite impossible pressure. She kisses him then, sudden, desperate, real. It's nothing like the air kisses she exchanges at social functions. This is raw need, gratitude, and something deeper. Ryan responds instinctively, pulling her closer. She tastes like champagne and possibility. When they finally break apart, both are breathing hard. Stay, she whispers against his lips, but Ryan pulls back gently. I can't. Lily, Mrs. Chen is watching her, but I promised I'd be home. The paternal responsibility grounds him. Sophia nods, understanding. Respecting the boundary. Can I meet her? She asks unexpectedly. Lily, I mean. Not as CEO Sterling, just as someone who cares about her father. The request is so earnest, so vulnerable, that Ryan agrees immediately. Tomorrow's Saturday. We usually go to the park. Nothing fancy, just swings and sandwiches. That sounds perfect, Sophia says, and means it. Ryan gets home to find Mrs. Chen asleep on his couch, the television playing muted reruns. He pays her, wincing at the cost, but grateful for her help. After she leaves, he checks on Lily. She's sleeping peacefully, her new drawing on the nightstand. It shows 3 figures holding hands, a tall man, a little girl, and a woman with dark hair. Above them, she's written "My family" in careful letters. The optimism of children never ceases to amaze him. Lily doesn't know about near-death experiences or corporate conspiracies. She just knows her daddy seems happier lately, and that's enough reason to imagine a bigger family. Saturday arrives bright and cloudless. Ryan and Lily reach the park at 10 a.m., their usual time. Lily immediately runs for the swings, her laughter carrying on the morning air. Ryan pushes her, the familiar rhythm soothing. This is their tradition, their safe space. Higher, Daddy, Lily demands, pumping her legs. Ryan obliges, his heart light for the first time in months. David is in custody. Sophia is safe, and his daughter is happy. It's enough. More than enough, Ryan. The voice is uncertain, almost shy. He turns to find Sophia standing on the path, looking nothing like the CEO he knows. She wears jeans and a simple sweater, her hair in a ponytail. The designer armor is gone, leaving just a woman hoping to belong. "You came," he says, unable to hide his pleasure. Lily notices the stranger and immediately stops swinging. She approaches with the fearless curiosity of children. "Are you Daddy's friend?" Lily asks directly. Sophia kneels to her height, a gesture that wins Ryan's heart completely. "I hope so. You must be Lily. Your dad tells me you're an artist." Lily brightens immediately. "I draw every day. Want to see?" She produces a small notebook from her pocket. Ryan hadn't even known she brought it. The pages are filled with colorful sketches, imaginative and joyful. "These are wonderful," Sophia says genuinely. "I especially like this one with the rainbow. The colors are perfect." "That's our house," Lily explains. "But with more windows so the sun can come in. Daddy says someday we'll live somewhere with more light." Sophia glances at Ryan, something soft in her expression. "Light is important," she agrees. "Everyone deserves to live in the light." They spend the morning together, pushing swings, feeding ducks, eating sandwiches on a bench. Sophia fits into their routine seamlessly. She doesn't try to buy Lily's affection with promises of toys or treats. Instead, she listens to the little girl's stories, asks about school, admires every artistic creation. By lunchtime, Lily is holding Sophia's hand naturally. "Can Miss Sophia come to our house?" Lily asks as they pack up. "I want to show her my other drawings." Ryan hesitates. Their apartment is such a contrast to Sophia's world. "I'd love to," Sophia says quickly, "if your dad doesn't mind." Her eyes meet Ryan's, asking permission to enter their private space completely. "Sure," Ryan agrees, though nerves flutter in his stomach. This is moving fast, but then again, nearly dying tends to accelerate emotional timelines. They walk back together, Lily between them, chattering happily. The apartment looks even shabbier with Sophia there, but she doesn't seem to notice. She admires Lily's artwork display, helps set the table for lunch, even does dishes afterward. It's domestic in a way that makes Ryan's chest ache. This is what he's missed. Partnership, shared moments, another adult who cares. While Lily naps, exhausted from the morning's excitement, Ryan and Sophia sit on his tiny balcony with coffee. The city spreads below them, different from her penthouse view, but still beautiful. "Thank you," Sophia says quietly, "for letting me into this." "Thank you for wanting in," Ryan responds. "Most people in your position—" "I'm not most people," she interrupts. "David was right about one thing. I've been alone for too long, but not because I'm picky or cold, because I was waiting for something real." She turns to face him fully. "This is real, isn't it? It's not just crisis bonding or misplaced gratitude." Ryan sets down his coffee, taking her hands. 6 months ago, I thought my life was over. Failed career, single parent, mopping floors to survive. Then you crashed into my world, literally, and everything shifted. You see me not as an ex-FBI agent or a janitor, but just as Ryan. That's real. And you see me as Sophia, not Sterling Industries, she replies. Do you know how rare that is? They're leaning toward each other when Lily's voice interrupts. Daddy? Is Miss Sophia your girlfriend now? They turn to find Lily standing in the doorway, rubbing sleepy eyes. The question is so direct, so innocent. Ryan opens his mouth to deflect, but Sophia speaks first. I'd like to be, if that's okay with you, she tells Lily seriously. But you're the most important person in your daddy's life, so your opinion matters most. Lily considers this with 7-year-old gravity. Will you make him smile more? He's been sad for a long time. The observation breaks Ryan's heart a little. Children see everything. I'll try my best, Sophia promises. Lily nods decisively. Okay then, you can be his girlfriend, but you have to come to my school play next month. I'm going to be a butterfly. I wouldn't miss it, Sophia says, and Ryan knows she means it. Monday changes everything. Ryan arrives at Sterling Industries to find a memo on his janitor's locker. He's been promoted to head of security, effective immediately. The salary increase is staggering. Enough to move somewhere with those windows Lily wants. Enough to stop worrying about medical bills and school tuition. I didn't ask for this, he tells Sophia when he finds her in her office. She's reviewing David's files, discovering the depth of his deception. 3 years of subtle sabotage, of positioning himself as indispensable. I know you didn't ask, she replies. But Sterling Industries needs someone trustworthy in that position. Jake Turner recommended you highly. Besides, you've already proven you'll protect this company, and me, with your life. Is that what this is about? Keeping me close for protection? The question comes out sharper than intended. Sophia stands, moving around the desk to face him. No, it's about keeping you close because I'm falling in love with you, she says simply. The job is real. You're qualified, you're needed. But yes, selfishly, I want you here. I want to see you every day, not just stolen weekends. The honesty undoes him. Ryan pulls her close, kissing her deeply. When they break apart, he speaks against her lips. I love you too. Terrifyingly fast. Probably inadvisable, but absolutely true. They're interrupted by a knock. Jake Turner enters, grinning. Sorry to interrupt the moment, boss, but we've got news. The FBI just called. The Kozlov family was taken down this morning. Seems they made too many mistakes after their best agent disappeared. You're free, Ryan. Really free. The relief is overwhelming. No more looking over his shoulder, no more fear for Lily's safety. Ryan can reclaim his name, his reputation. But looking at Sophia, he realizes he doesn't want his old life back. This new one, complicated and unexpected, is better. 3 months pass in a blur of changes. Ryan and Lily move to a brownstone in a tree-lined neighborhood. Not ostentatious, but bright and safe. Sophia spends most evenings there, helping with homework, teaching Lily to cook, filling the space with laughter. She's still CEO. The company needs her. But she's restructuring, delegating more, making time for life outside the boardroom. The school play arrives on a Thursday evening. Ryan sits in the elementary school auditorium, Sophia beside him. She's taken the afternoon off, her first in years. When Lily appears on stage in her butterfly costume, wings sparkling with glitter, she applied herself. Both adults tear up. She delivers her 3 lines perfectly, beaming when she spots them in the audience. Afterward, at the ice cream celebration Sophia suggested, Lily makes an announcement. My teacher says families come in all shapes. Some have 1 parent, some have 2, some have grandparents. Ours has Daddy and Sophia and me. Is that right? That's exactly right, Ryan confirms, watching Sophia's face light up. This is their shape. Unconventional, but perfect. A former FBI agent turned security chief, a CEO learning to balance power with love, and a little girl who draws their world in bright colors. Later that night, after Lily's asleep, Ryan finds Sophia on the brownstone's small balcony. The city glows around them, softer than the view from her penthouse, but more personal. David's trial starts next month, she says quietly. They say I'll have to testify. I'll be right there with you, Ryan promises. Every step. She leans into him, solid and warm, I know. That's what makes it bearable. There's something else, she continues, reaching into her pocket. She pulls out a small box. Not a ring box, but something else. Inside is a key, silver and simple. I'm selling the penthouse. It never felt like home. I want to buy something with you. For us. All three of us. Ryan stares at the key, a symbol of commitment deeper than any ring. Are you sure? Your world and mine are the same world now, she interrupts. I don't want to be CEO Sterling who sometimes visits Ryan and Lily. I want to be Sophia who comes home to her family, who helps with homework and makes terrible pancakes on Sundays, who goes to school plays and knows all of Lily's friends' names. Your pancakes aren't that terrible, Ryan teases, but his voice is thick with emotion. And Lily already tells everyone you're her almost mom. She's just waiting for us to catch up. Then let's catch up, Sophia says simply. 1 year later, the wedding is small. Just family and close friends in the garden of their new home. Lily serves as flower girl and ring bearer, taking both roles seriously. Jake Turner stands as best man, joking that he knew Ryan was in trouble the moment he saw him watching Sophia that first night. Sophia has restructured Sterling Industries, creating a foundation in her father's name that funds education for underprivileged children. She still leads the company, but differently, with humanity, with balance. David's assets, seized after his conviction, fund the initiative. Justice served with purpose. Ryan oversees security for Sterling Industries, but also consults for the FBI on special cases. His reputation, once tarnished by his abrupt departure, has been restored. More importantly, he's found a way to serve that doesn't require sacrificing family. The stranger who passed Ryan the key that morning, revealed during the trial to be Marcus Sterling's private investigator, who'd been gathering evidence about David, sends a wedding gift, a simple note. Marcus would be proud. Love wins. As their first dance begins, Sophia whispers in Ryan's ear, "Thank you for saving me that night." "Thank you for saving me every day since," he replies. Lily interrupts, tugging on Ryan's jacket. "Can I dance too?" They lift her between them, the three of them swaying together. It's unorthodox for a wedding dance, but then again, nothing about their story has been conventional. Later, as guests mingle in the garden, Ryan watches Sophia laughing with Lily over some shared joke. The woman who once seemed untouchable, armored in corporate power, now sits in grass-stained wedding dress, teaching his daughter to make flower crowns. The journey from that parking garage to this garden has been unexpected, dangerous, beautiful. "No regrets?" Jake asks, appearing at his elbow with 2 beers. Ryan accepts one gratefully. "Only that it took almost losing everything to find everything." He gestures at his family. Still strange to think of them that way, but absolutely true. Sometimes the best things come from the worst moments. Philosophy from an ex-janitor, Jake teases. "What's next? Poetry?" "Next is life," Ryan replies simply. "Regular, beautiful, complicated life. School plays and board meetings, birthday parties and security reviews. Teaching Lily to drive, while Sophia covers her eyes in terror." "Sounds perfect," Jake agrees. As the sun sets, painting the sky in shades of gold and rose, the photographer captures one last image. Ryan and Sophia stand together, Lily between them. They're not looking at the camera, but at each other, faces bright with joy. Behind them, their house, not a penthouse or a cramped apartment but a home, glows with warm light. The photo will sit on Sophia's desk at Sterling Industries, a reminder that love doesn't recognize boundaries of class or circumstance. It will inspire her decisions, ground her priorities, When young employees ask how she balances everything, she'll touch the frame and say, "Find people who see you for who you are, not what you represent." Ryan keeps the same photo in his security office, proof that second chances exist. When former FBI colleagues visit, impressed by his new life, he tells them the truth. "I was just mopping floors, trying to survive. Then I saved someone who ended up saving me right back." Lily keeps her own copy, eventually showing it to her college roommate years later. "That's the night my dad married my mom," she'll say, though technically Sophia became her mother gradually, through bedtime stories and homework help. They saved each other. Back in the present, as wedding guests depart, Sophia finds Ryan in their kitchen. He's looking at Lily's latest drawing on the refrigerator. It shows their family at the beach. Somewhere they're planning to vacation next month. "She got your eyes right," Sophia observes, wrapping her arms around him from behind. "That exact shade that made me trust you, even when logic said not to." "And she captured your smile," Ryan responds, turning in her embrace. "The real one, not the CEO version." Through the window, they watch Lily playing in the garden. She's laughing, carefree in a way that seemed impossible a year ago. The scared little girl whose father worked 3 jobs has transformed into this confident child who knows she's loved and safe. "We did good," Ryan says quietly. "We did perfect," Sophia corrects, then adds with a smile, "Though I should warn you, Lily asked me yesterday if she could have a baby brother." Looking at his wife, still wonderful to think that word, Ryan sees their future stretching ahead. More children maybe, definitely more challenges, but also more joy than he once thought possible. "I think, he says slowly, that our family's shape is still evolving." As stars appear in the darkening sky, their daughter finally calm, Ryan and Sophia stand in their garden. The physical distance from that first night seems vast, but the emotional distance is even greater. 2 lonely souls who found each other in the worst possible moment and made it the beginning of everything. "I love you," Sophia says suddenly. "I know I say it often now, but I need you to know. It's real, deep, forever love." "I know," Ryan replies, "because I feel it too. Every morning when you steal all the coffee, every night when you read to Lily in silly voices, it's the kind of love that makes everything else fade." They fall asleep that night intertwined, 2 souls who crossed impossible distances to find each other. In the morning, there will be breakfast chaos and work demands, but for now, there is only peace, only gratitude, only love. The story that began with violence ends with peace. Sophia and Ryan in their bed, Lily safe down the hall, their home solid around them. Outside, the city continues its movement. Inside, there is completion, the rare sense of being exactly where they belong. 5 years pass like pages turning in Lily's sketchbook. The brownstone fills with more drawings, then homework assignments, then certificates of achievement. The walls become a timeline of a family growing together. Ryan adds security consulting to his responsibilities, helping other companies protect their people. Sophia transforms Sterling Industries into something her father never imagined, a corporation with a conscience. They have their second child on a rainy Tuesday morning, a boy they name Marcus, after Sophia's father. He has Ryan's green eyes and Sophia's determined chin. Lily, now 12, holds her baby brother with the careful reverence of an artist handling precious materials. "He's perfect," she whispers, and Ryan catches Sophia wiping away tears. The stranger who passed the key, Marcus Sterling's investigator, finally revealed as Samuel Morris, becomes an unofficial grandfather to the children. He visits monthly, bringing stories of the real Marcus Sterling, a man who would have loved seeing his daughter choose love over loneliness, family over fortune. "Your father always said the company was his legacy," Samuel tells Sophia one evening. "But watching you now, I think he'd realize his real legacy was raising someone brave enough to build something better." At Lily's high school graduation, she gives the valedictorian speech. She talks about families that form in unexpected ways, about fathers who sacrifice everything for their children, about mothers who arrive when you need them most. She doesn't mention parking garages or kidnapping attempts. She speaks instead of love that crosses impossible distances to find its home. Ryan and Sophia sit in the front row, Marcus between them at 8 years old, already sketching in his own notebook. They're crying, all of them. Even Jake Turner, who claims it's allergies. That night, as they celebrate at their favorite restaurant, nothing fancy, just the place where they had their first real family dinner, Lily makes an announcement. "I've decided on my major," she says, her eyes bright with purpose. "Criminal justice and social work double major. I want to help families stay together when the system tries to tear them apart." Ryan reaches across the table to squeeze her hand. His daughter, who once drew butterflies and rainbows, now dreams of being the bridge between two worlds, just like her parents became for each other.